Laddie Williams.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Senate confirms Professor Josh Amupito as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Nigerian Medical Association declares Nnamdi Kanu medically fit to stand trial on terrorism charges. Also tonight, River State government revokes 134 billion naira contract awarded by former sole administrator Ikode Deibas. And U.S. President Donald Trump announces plans to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Hungary in what he calls a bid to negotiate peace in Ukraine.
In On Business, SEC Smedden signed MOU to boost SME access to capital markets.
And on sports news tonight, Nigeria's Flamingos conclude FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup preparations with victory over Paraguay in Casablanca, Morocco.
And from the nation's capital, Nigeria Hydrological Agency issues flood alert for Anambra, Delta and Kogi as water levels rise in rivers Benue and Niger.
Good evening. Great to have you join us to begin tonight in Abuja, where the Senate has confirmed Professor Josh Amupito as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, following an extensive screening session during today's plenary. Professor Amupito's appointment came after more than 2 hours of questioning by senators who sought to understand his plans for restoring credibility to Nigeria's electoral process and implementing meaningful reforms within the commission. The 58-year-old law professor now becomes the 6th substantive chairman of INEC, succeeding Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who was officially completed his tenure. Our National Assembly correspondent Gloria Umezoke reports.
Lawmakers reconvened for plenary focused on one agenda, the screening of Professor Josh Amupito, who was barely 1 week ago appointed by President Bola Tinubu and endorsed by the Council of State as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission.
To conduct the confirmation hearing.
The Senate relaxed its rules to admit his immediate family members as well as officials from INEC. In his opening remarks, the 58-year-old professor of law, who is the first INEC chair from the North Central region, gave a brief overview of his background.
My formative years were nurtured in the environment, a nurturing environment of my early primary school at Baptist Primary School in Ayetorogbede. 3 things have always influenced my life. Number 1, God. Number 2, hard work. And number 3, mentorship.
Immediately after, an extensive screening session began.
With your wealth of experience, can you share with us what accountability mechanisms that you will expand or introduce into our electoral process?
One of the thorny issues that came up in the last election was the issue of BVAS and IREF platform, which were game changers. Given your understanding of the terrain, how do you intend to ensure these technologies function optimally?
IREF was supposed to provide some guarantees and checks and balances. But owing to the issues of glitches, which in simple time, I understand as improper configuration, I have to audit the system if I'm given the opportunity to see what is actually wrong
promising to rebuild trust and safeguard the integrity and independence of the electoral process. He asserts that the deployment of technology will be prioritized as a central strategy.
We can also invest more on logistics to ensure that every part of Nigeria we can penetrate, even if we have to use drones.
On tackling electoral malpractice, especially among returning officers, the professor proposed the creation of an internal oversight system.
There is a need for an electoral offences commission that would be able to investigate. INEC does not really have the capacity presently. We can introduce a whistleblowing policy too that will enable people to detect and expose such practices.
Again, he addresses the question of whether or not he was part of the President Tinubu's legal team in the 2023 elections.
I did not appear in the presidential election tribunal and at the Supreme Court.
So you never represented Peter Obi or PDP?
I was not part of it.
Okay, so
I was not part of it.
After over 2 hours of screening, one lawmaker raised a motion which threw the chamber into a rowdy session.
With the permission of Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, if the nominee could be allowed to answer these questions and then take a bow and take the leave of the Senate. Sir, you have to rule this motion.
To ask President, you gave the direction, Mr. President. Mr. President, don't allow them to spoil the screening.
The motion is then put into a voice vote.
Those in support that he be allowed to ask to answer the few questions that are still pending, and thereafter take a bow and go. Say aye. Those again say nay. The ayes have it.
Professor Amopito, a senior advocate of Nigeria who succeeds Professor Mahmood Yakubu, subsequently takes a bow and leaves. Without further delay, the Senate confirms his appointment as the 6th substantive chairman of INEC. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
And to the courts now. The Federal High Court in Abuja has approved the use of the Department of State Services medical facility for the treatment of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. The decision follows a medical assessment by a team led by the president of the Nigeria Medical Association, NMA, which determined that Kanu's reported ailment is not life-threatening. Justice James Omotosho ordered the medical team to ascertain Mr. Kanu's actual health status amid conflicting claims presented by medical experts engaged by both the prosecution and the defense. In a report submitted to the court on October 13th by the prosecution team led by Adegboyega Awomolo, part of the which read in open court, the medical panel confirmed that Kanu's condition is not life-threatening and concluded that he is fit to stand trial. With no objections from the lawyers of either party, Justice Omotosho affirmed that the defendant could proceed with his trial. He subsequently granted Kanu 6 consecutive days starting October 23rd to open and close his defense. And to other news now. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, has described recent reports labeling Nigeria as a genocide destination as a deliberate and malicious attempt to incite panic and undermine national unity. The minister made the remarks at the Progressive Governors Summit for APC State Commissioners for Information, held in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. He emphasized that the time has come for communication to consistently convey strategic direction, clearly highlighting policies that deliver positive outcomes.
Commissioners of information in states controlled by the All Progressives Congress gather for a summit to discuss national development as well as the falsehood in information dissemination. The meeting is holding ahead of plans by the federal government to begin campaign against falsehood in information dissemination.
Distinguished commissioners, The erroneous and misinformed leveling of our nation is a test to our collective resolve. When you hear that Nigeria is a destination for Christian genocide or any kind of genocide for that matter, it should test our collective resolve for all of us to come together and challenge this narrative and put the truth out there so that the world could see. You are the stewards of our truth. Let us move forward with courage and strategic clarity. Let us ensure that the story of Nigeria is defined not by the lies of our detractors, but by our unwavering pursuit of unity and progress and peace that we all desire to build our great country.
We have launched the PGM Value Orientation Campaign to ignite mindset renewal that our nation needs. One that transforms citizens from passive observers into active partners in shaping the progress of our dear country.
As for the Borno State government, there is a 25-year recovery and development plan from the Boko Haram insurgency.
This assembly presents a timely opportunity to reflect upon and affirm our collective endorsement of the Borno State 25-year development plan and 10-year strategic transformation initiative. This is far-sighted blueprint charts a sustainable pathway toward lasting security, inclusive growth, and enduring prosperity.
The meeting is expected to develop a communique on the strategies to address the rising falsehood in information dissemination.
And this Justice Yusuf Halilu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court has adjourned the hearing in a 5.5 billion naira defamation suit filed against the Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP by two operatives of the Department of State Services to November 12th. The adjournment followed the absence of SERAP's lawyer, Mr. Ebu Adegborua, in court. The suit was filed by DSS operatives Sarah John and Gabriel Ogunleye, who alleged that SERAP defamed them in a media publication. They claimed the organization accused them of unlawfully invading an office, thereby damaging their reputation as law-abiding security operatives. And the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, has clarified that no inmate granted clemency under President Bola Tinubu's recent exercise of the prerogative of mercy is yet to be released. A statement made available to journalists on Thursday in Abuja and personally signed by Fagbemi was explained that the process is still at the final administrative stage, and this phase involves a standard review to ensure that all names and recommendations fully comply with the established legal and procedural requirements before any release of instruments are issued. The statement reads in part, "It is important to emphasize that the final step of the exercise following approval by the Council of State is the issuance of the instrument for implementing the decision regarding each beneficiary." The Attorney General also expressed appreciation for the public's vigilance and constructive feedback, which it says continue to strengthen institutional integrity. He assured that public engagement will always be welcome as it reflects Nigeria's deep commitment to justice and governance. And a former Foreign Affairs Minister, General Ike Nwachukwu, has made a passionate call for a people-driven federal constitution. While speaking at the formal book presentation of Dr. Dakuku Peter Sai in Lagos, the retired Major General emphasized the need for Nigerians to unite and negotiate their diverse interests to create a constitution that genuinely serves the nation's varied needs. Let's take a closer look at what he said.
I wish to reiterate a call that I made often, the call for a people's federal constitution. No amount of amendments to the 1999 Constitution, I believe, will transform it into a truly federal negotiated document reflecting the consent of Nigeria's diverse nationalities. We must, as a people, sit together, negotiate our various interests, and agree on a constitution that best serves those interests. every federating unit in Nigeria is valuable, each blessed with human, natural, and mineral resources in abundance. What stifles their development is the inhibitive framework of the 1999 Constitution. To unlock the creative and productive capabilities of our people, we must remove these shackles and allow our federated units greater control over their destinies while contributing fairly to the federal purse.
And in part two, after the break, River State government revokes a 134 billion naira contract awarded by former Sole Administrator Ikodete Bass. Do stay with us.
In a nation of over 200 million, where 60% are under 25,
millions of brilliant young minds are locked out of the new economy for lack of digital tools.
Zynet Technologies, in partnership with Conga Cares, has launched a convenient installment payment structure with 6 months interest-free.
We invite government at all levels, corporates, alumni, politicians, and wealthy Nigerians
to support our educational institutions to produce quality human capital by donating tech experience centers
powered by 24-hour iPower alternative power solution with internet.
Let's computerize Nigeria.
To find out more,
visit congacares.conga.com.
Every year, floods destroy homes, farmlands, and livelihoods across Nigeria. The National Orientation Agency urges every Nigerian to take practical steps to reduce the risk of flooding in our community. Flooding is preventable. Take action today to protect your home and community. Dispose of waste properly. Keep draining paths clear. Avoid building on flood-prone areas. Report illegal dumping of waste. Participate in community sanitation. Listen for early warning alerts. This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to... The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the federal government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Let me tell you about Africa's biggest fitness party. A place where you tune out the noise and elevate all the way up. Here, it's sweat, it's music, and it's movement. Thousands moving as one. Where Africa's top trainers push you harder and the beats keep you moving. Where food, fitness, and vibes collide. Where it's okay to fall 7 times, but rise at the 8th. Cause that's how we elevate. And when the sun goes down, the party goes higher. Vev life no be just 6 packs. Now lifestyle, now joy. It's calm as you are. So lace up, bring your crew. Come sweat, come dance, come elevate.
My mama no lie, yo. Food way sweet, na money kill and plus everything combined, oh. Everything combined, oh. Oboga just the arrive, oh. She tell me say na devil king, so yeah, oh she dey use fry, oh. Yeah. Now why did you love it sweet like this? The chicken in the crisp like this. Fry the plantain.
Introducing the new Devon King's Soya Vegetable Oil. Available in stores near you.
of success.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The Senate confirms Professor Joash Amupito as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Nigerian Medical Association declares Nnamdi Kanu medically fit to stand trial on terrorism charges. And the Rivers State government revokes 134 billion naira contract awarded by former sole administrator Ikodete Ibas. The US President Donald Trump announces plans to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Hungary in what he calls a bid to negotiate peace in Ukraine. And the Rivers State Executive Council has made a series of decisions at its first meeting since the suspension of the 6-month emergency rule. Held at the Government House in Port Harcourt, the meeting reviewed key contracts awarded during the emergency rule. The council also took decisions aimed at realigning government priorities in education, the environment, and the employment generation.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara is presiding over the first meeting of the Rivers State Executive Council nearly a month after the suspension of the 6-month emergency rule in the state. In attendance are the Deputy Governor, the newly appointed Secretary to the State Government, the Head of Service, 8 retained commissioners, and the permanent secretaries of the Ministries of Works and Education. After hours of deliberation, some council members briefed the press, beginning with the decision to cancel the 134 billion naira contract for the renovation of the State Secretariat complex earlier awarded to CCECC during the emergency rule.
The Executive Council has also directed the refund of 20 billion naira paid as mobilization to the contractors. Secondly, after the deliberations, the Executive Council approved the revalidation of the bidding process for all the 4 contracts earlier advertised in the national dailies of 19 February 2025.
The council also announced new measures to address challenges affecting computer-based test examinations and flash flooding across the state.
The Executive Council approved the proposal for the establishment of CBT centers and ICT labs across the senatorial districts and indeed the 23 local government areas in the state.
The council further approved steps to tackle the growing problem of youth unemployment.
His Excellency directed that we should do everything to do a proposal which will be coming up in the coming days. This proposal will be directioned. This proposal will be focused. This proposal, His Excellency will look at it and approve. It will become a framework of action.
The decisions taken by the Rivers State Executive Council are expected to reposition key sectors, address pressing infrastructural and social challenges, and restore public confidence in the administration's vision for a progressive river state.
And to some electioneering now. Ihiala town in Anambra State today stood still as residents and a crowd of supporters gathered to back the re-election of Governor Chukwuma Soludo. The event also celebrated Governor Soludo's significant security achievements, with attendees praising his efforts to restore dignity to the area. Supporters expressed confidence that November 8th will be an easy victory for him. For Governor Soludo, the rally represents more than just a campaign. It symbolizes the liberation and progress of the people of Ihiala.
Come to the stage. Come to the stage.
A massive jubilant crowd of men, women and youth, as well as party faithful in uniform, adorned with party logos, fill Odoata Central School field in Ihiala, a scene that was very impossible during the 2021 governorship campaign because of heavy unrest and criminal activity. The excited people echo that security has been restored, and various speakers praise Governor Chukwuma Soludo's commitment to restoring peace and security, noting that all activities in Ihiala are back to normal.
Honestly, I, among every other person, should be grateful because I'm a victim. And the people in the Ebonyi Sea, our church was closed for a very long time. But in my little mind, I was thinking that time is being wasted. But I understood in democracy, it takes a lot of plans to get things done. And finally, for things to continue, we want to thank you for restoring peace in Ebonyi Sea. On behalf of stakeholders in Ihiala, we say we are going to pay you back by November 8th. You have done over to our people. What we are saying is thank you, Mr. Governor.
Others hail the governor's giant strides in education, the area of recruitment, enhanced standard of teaching and learning, leading to winning of both national and international laurels, as well as youth empowerment with the One Youth, Two Skills.
I am happy and proud to tell you that our governor did what he said. He recruited us by merit. He recruited us without discrimination. Give him 3 months,
The governor, Chukwuma Soludo, filled with joy and excitement, hails God's grace that made what was impossible during the 2021 governorship electioneering campaign to become possible. He appreciates Ihiala people and extends amnesty to youth still in the bushes, assuring them of proper integration and empowerment.
We have come to celebrate the liberation of Ihiala. And now, Ihiala will move forward. With the criminals out of the way, we are telling the remaining, if there is any youth who is still in the bush, come out now. Come out now, we will help you to start afresh.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo receives the 6 young men who have surrendered to a life of peace and order, and to the people of Ihiala. He gives assurances of massive infrastructural development as there are no hindrances anymore.
It's over now to our Abuja studio where Gloria brings us the rest of the day's top stories. Hello, Gloria.
Thank you, Ladi. Well, here in Abuja, the Director General of the Nigeria Hydrological Agency, NISA, Mr. Umar Mohammed, has warned of possible localized flooding in Anambra, Delta, and Kogi states. Mr. Mohammed was speaking during a press briefing in Abuja, explaining that hydrological monitoring by the agency indicates high water levels along the Niger and Benue rivers.
At this moment, our hydrological monitoring shows high water levels along parts of the river Niger and Benue rivers, with the possibility of localized flooding in Kogi, Anambra, and Delta states. We advise residents in flood-prone areas to remain vigilant and to follow official advisories. Our recent water quality assessment during flood evaluation exercise revealed contamination on some shallow wells caused by floodwater intrusion. We call for stronger collaboration among relevant ministries, humanitarian partners, and local authorities to ensure the provision of safe drinking water to affected communities. Looking ahead, NISA is developing a 5-year strategic action plan to guide our operations. This plan focuses on innovation, regional empowerment, and stronger stakeholder engagement. We are also strengthening our zonal and field offices to bring our services closer to the people.
Still in the federal capital, the minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has accused Labour Party presidential candidate in the last elections, Mr. Peter Obi, of politicizing every issue ahead of the 2027 elections. Speaking at the commissioning of the ILS Mabushi District Road, Mr. Wike criticized Mr. Obi's recent comments following a visit to a primary school in the Kapwa area of Lugbe FCT, asserting that development can only occur in phases.
The newly constructed ILS 11 Mabushi District Road off the Ahmadu Bello Highway in the nation's capital is set for commissioning. Before commissioning the project, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike expresses displeasure over recent political developments.
Some people, because of politics, for example, I hear one of the social media presidential candidates went to one of the local authority area schools and was saying the government has abandoned public schools. In particular, his name is Mr. Peter Obi. It is not everything you must play politics. But let me say this. Peter Obi, you were governor for 8 years in Anambra State. If you have finished all the jobs in 8 years, nobody will be talking about developing Anambra by now. 8 years. Instead of developing Anambra, you took the money and put in the bank you have interest, Fidelity Bank. And why did you have problems with your successor? Anambra State had problems. The money was there to develop Anambra State. You only prefer profit and put the money for the development of Anambra State in the bank you have the largest share. So profit will be coming and Anambra will be suffering.
In her remarks, the Minister of State charged residents of the area to make judicious use of the infrastructure.
I will also want you to be assured that this project is for your prosperity. It's for you to ease your movement and also economic growth in the area. So we urge you to come together and take a collective ownership of this project and protect it.
The road, which was completed in 6 months, will give easy access to residents of the Esther Bali and Kes Udeze streets in the area. Daily Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, SEC and Smedon sign MOU to enhance SME access to capital markets. But that's in business news. It's from Michigan.
There is something stirring in Africa. A continent reclaiming its destiny, telling its story, defining a new future. At the heart of this awakening is its most populous nation, Nigeria, renewed by bold reforms. A nation with fertile land, abundant resources, and resilient entrepreneurs, building a brighter tomorrow. And at the center of this transformation, you'd find the FCMB Group and its subsidiaries. FCMB is offering 16 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 10 naira per share, available from the 2nd of October to the 6th of November 2025. Subscribe today via the NGX Invest portal at invest.ngxgroup.com. Select FCMB Group Public Offer or visit any FCMB branch, the FCMB mobile app, internet banking, or fcmbgroup.com. Invest in FCMB. Invest in our shared future.
Partnership that makes sense. Are you a manufacturer, distributor, or reseller? It's time to go big with Konga.com. Gain massive visibility, reach every corner of Nigeria at lower cost, and be more profitable. We've got you covered with secure warehouses, nationwide logistics, and Konga Pay, the trusted payment platform that guarantees timely payments. Let's partner to grow your business and build a stronger economy. Email onboarding@konga.com today. Konga, the e-commerce group you trust. Partnership that makes sense. Are you a manufacturer, distributor, or reseller? It's time to go big with Konga.com. Gain massive visibility, reach every corner of Nigeria at lower cost, and be more profitable. We've got you covered with secure warehouses, nationwide logistics, and Konga Pay, the trusted payment platform that guarantees timely payments. Let's partner to grow your business and build a stronger economy. Email onboarding@konga.com today. Konga, the e-commerce group you trust.
Feel free to imagine a world with no boundaries. Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection with the correct. Smooth connection with the correct.
In the last 35 years, Crystal Laurel Limited has provided first-class products and services in the field of horizontal and vertical transportation systems, including elevators, escalators, UPS, overhead traveling cranes, hoists, and allied material handling products in general. As we roll out the drums in celebration of 35 years of meeting and exceeding clients' expectations, we restate our firm commitment to engineering excellence wherever we are privileged to serve. Crystal Laurel, engineered to excel.
The reward of success.
You're watching the news at 10, coming to you live on Channels Television. To health, the National Coordinator of Nigeria's Health Sector-Wide Approach Office, Dr. Muntak Umar Sadiq, says the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, is set to convene a joint meeting of local, state, and federal health officials and other partners in November to openly conduct a review of the health sector performance in Nigeria. Dr. Umar Sadiq made the disclosure during a breakfast fundraising meeting with officials from the Global Financing Fund at the 2025 annual meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund in Washington.
We're here at the sidelines of the World Bank annual meetings to mobilize additional resources as part of implementing the Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative. We are showcasing the Nigeria Swap Compact that has been the accountability framework for accelerating improvement in health outcomes. We'll have the opportunity in a few weeks as part of the joint annual review to reflect, take stock, and understand how to align and build the right partnerships to accelerate our ability to crash maternal and neonatal mortality over the coming years. The Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative really builds on the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. using that as an entry point to mobilize additional resources from partners that we have here today, from the World Bank to the Gates Foundation to large anonymous donors. And it focuses on both supply and demand side interventions to improve health outcomes. So it ranges from revitalizing primary and secondary facilities to reimbursing obstetric complications, which include cesarean sections and all the drivers of maternal deaths. It also includes 11 priorities, which we call disbursement-linked indicators, to ensure that we're equipping our facilities with the right human resource, right equipment, and availability of commodities to ensure that every life is saved as part of our efforts to achieve universal health coverage.
And that's it from the nation's capital. It's now back to Laddie for the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks, Gloria. Well, to some company news now. See, Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers, that's a member of the Stanbic IBTC Holdings PLC, today hosted a media briefing to explain two newly introduced frameworks by the National Pension Commission, Personal Pension Plan and Foreign Currency Pension Contributions. The session aimed to help Nigerians understand how these new pension models are designed to make retirement savings more flexible, inclusive, and accessible across diverse professions and income levels.
Following the introduction of the Personal Pension Plan and Foreign Currency Pension Contributions by the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers convened this media parley to deepen awareness and understanding of the new frameworks.
At Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers, we are proud to support PENCOM's vision by helping Nigerians understand and benefit from these opportunities. Our commitment remains clear: to provide expert guidance, secure digital access, and reliable service that empowers people to plan their future with ease.
Tagged Pension Revolution 2.0, the initiative seeks to broaden pension inclusion, enhance flexibility, and empower Nigerians to take full control of their retirement planning.
The personal pension plan now is open to any and everybody. And even if you're working already and you have an existing account, right, you can actually still make contributions into a personal pension plan. Prior to now, it was a 60-40 split, 40 available for contingent, and 60 would remain till you retire, at which point you can access it through a program withdrawal or annuity option. But now it has changed. There's now a 50-50 split, 50 for contingent, 50 will remain till retirement, and at retirement, you can opt to do a program withdrawal, you can opt to purchase an annuity, or you can opt to take out the entire money en bloc.
These new pension frameworks by the Commission.
A panel session follows, featuring executives from Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers who unpacked the benefits, economic implications, and distinctions between these new plans and traditional pension schemes.
Again, it doesn't have to be every month. It can be weekly, it can be monthly, it can be quarterly, it can be you've just done a big deal and you want to invest your earnings on that big contract or whatever. It's at your own convenience. So I think the flexibility is a lot more attractive for Nigerians, and also the fact that they can have access to it should they need some money for pressing it. Makes it very attractive for Nigerians.
What I'm saying is now time to move that envelope to ensure that we capture the majority of Nigerians outside the formal sector. So whether you work for yourself, whether you're in the informal sector, this plan, has been enhanced to ensure that it actually meets your need. And so we're hoping that the impact is that we have a lot more people, we have a bigger pension industry, and an industry that will, leave Nigeria better, can contribute positively to some of the developmental agendas of the country.
Through this media parley, Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers reaffirms its commitment to driving pension reforms through financial education, digital innovation, and client engagement, helping Nigerians build a more secure financial future.
Thank you very much.
And for more business now, here's Will Ibong.
Thank you, Laddie.
There's a new push to help Nigeria's small businesses access long-term funding. The Securities and Exchange Commission and the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria have signed an agreement to open up the capital market to millions of entrepreneurs struggling with limited financing options. According to the SEC and SMEDAN leadership, the partnership is expected to benefit over 40 million micro, small and medium enterprises, creating alternative funding channels and supporting the federal government's $1 trillion economy.
It is important that as a capital market, we're able to find a route for this small and medium-scale enterprise to be able to raise capital for sustainability and also bring them aboard in the pipeline of listed companies in Nigeria, whereby they are able to democratize wealth and also able to share part of their institutions to Nigerians, making sure that development is faster, people are employed, there is production, and also the growth of the economy.
There are approximately 40 million small and medium enterprises in Nigeria, and we have categorized them as nano, micro, small, and medium. And so we also understand that capital in this part of the country is very expensive and also very scarce. And so we want to make sure that our small businesses have alternatives to capital. And the capital market is one of the best ways. And so that's why, our collaboration is bringing another source of capital for our medium businesses. And I'm so excited about this. And we're both giving ourselves a target of at least 1,000 medium businesses listing on the capital market. This would help to galvanize the capital market, as by so doing, reduce the high rate of unemployment that hinder the capacity of many to do work and earn a decent living in the country of Nigeria.
And still in the capital market, the federal government has raised 3.96 billion naira from the October 2025 Federal Government of Nigeria savings bonds, and that's according to the Debt Management Office. The offer featured a 2-year bond maturing in 2027 and a 3-year bond due in 2028. The 2-year bond fetched 779 million naira at a 14.06% interest rate, while the 3-year bond attracted 3.19 billion naira at 15.06%, with more than 2,400 investors participating. The October issuance surpassed September's 3.05 billion naira, showing rising investor interest in government-backed savings instruments. And with that, we're checking with the domestic equities market, which hit a new milestone today as the all-share index crossed the 148,000 level. Inijal Mekwa tells us more.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stock market report. Well, a confident win is what we saw at the close of Thursday's trade at Nigeria's stock market. 389 billion naira added to the market cap, and that has moved us over to the 94 trillion naira level. Also, the all-share index has recovered and hit that 148,000 after the all-share closed 0.41% in the green. And it's all thanks to Dangote. And since that opening in Côte d'Ivoire and a whole lot of activities, economic activities around Dangote Cement, we've seen investors really happy with the stock. So today it gained 14 naira 20 kobo to close at 599 naira 80 kobo. Congratulations to investors in Dangote today. They are counting some of those gains. Sectors, and we see banking has recovered too, thank God. And it's all Access Co and First Hold Co as well as GT Co. So we see it up 0.21%. Consumer goods sustained the green color it closed with yesterday. International breweries is still a major driver. Nestle also, in spite of that bad news from the global scene that they're going to lay off some of their workers, but we see it moving that counter right here. Oil and gas also still in the green. Japo Gold, Aradel making the news there, 0.18% at the close of trade today. We welcome the bull.
Thank you, Ini. Now, Nestle's plans to cut 16,000 jobs boosted EU stocks. Let's see their closing numbers and those of other major equities. And that's business news. Is back to Ladi for more on the news at 10.
Thanks, Will. Well, here's Simon Pusey now with other international stories around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Israel has returned the bodies of 30 Palestinians to Gaza, according to the Hamas-run health ministry, as part of an exchange agreed in the ceasefire deal. Hamas earlier returned the remains of 2 Israelis. The deal says Israel will return 15 Palestinian bodies for every Israeli body. So far, Hamas has returned all 20 living hostages, but only 9 of the 28 dead hostages. The group says it needs specialist equipment to find the others. The delay has raised fears the ceasefire could collapse, but senior U.S. advisors downplayed the threat, saying Hamas intends to honor the deal. U.S. President Donald Trump has confirmed a report he authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations inside Venezuela, provoking outrage from the South American nation's leader. U.S. forces have already conducted at least 5 strikes on suspected drug-carrying boats in the Caribbean in recent weeks, killing 27 people. UN-appointed human rights experts have described the raids as extrajudicial executions.
Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the, they came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back.
Emergency power outages have been brought in across almost all of Ukraine after an intensive campaign of Russian airstrikes on energy infrastructure. This will be the 4th consecutive winter of blackouts throughout Ukraine since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022. The Energy Ministry said all but 2 regions were affected. Only the eastern Donetsk region, at the forefront of the war, is exempt, while the northern Chernihiv region is already facing hourly outages. The French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu has narrowly survived 2 no-confidence votes after his pledge to suspend pension reform won him the support of left-wing MPs. Marine Le Pen of the far-right National Rally said this isn't a political crisis, it's a crisis of politicians. Kenyan police have fired tear gas at huge crowds of mourners gathering at a stadium in the capital Nairobi to view the body of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga after it had been flown out from India where he died. Gunshots were also fired, but it is not clear whether the police were using live ammunition or rubber bullets. Several people were reportedly injured in the chaos as security officers sought to disperse the surging crowds. Thousands of mourners carrying twigs and palm branches had earlier turned out to receive the body at the country's main airport in a public outpouring of grief that forced a brief halt to flights. Clashes between anti-government protesters and riot police in the Peruvian capital Lima have left a 32-year-old man dead and more than 100 people injured, including many police officers. The protests come less than a week after Jose Jerry was sworn in as the interim president following the impeachment of his predecessor in office. Demonstrations were organized by mainly young Peruvians who demand that the country's political class do more to combat high levels of crime and corruption. OceanGate's Titan submersible imploded on its journey to the wreck of the Titanic because of poor engineering and multiple failures to test the vessel. That's according to an official report. Titan imploded in June 2023, killing all 5 passengers on board, including OceanGate's chief executive. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board found the engineering process behind the vehicle was inadequate, resulting in faults which meant it failed to meet strength and durability requirements. And a brown hyena standing beside the ruins of an abandoned diamond mining settlement has earned wildlife photographer Wim van den Heever the title of Wildlife Photographer of the Year. He said it took him 10 years to get the shot. Winners were selected from among a record number of 60,000 entries received from 113 countries. The annual exhibition dedicated to the competition opens at the Natural History Museum in London tomorrow. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Thank you, Simon. Well, to some other stories. Now, the Progressive Governors Forum is currently meeting at the council chamber at the Kebbi State Government House in Benin Kebbi, the state capital. The meeting is being chaired by the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma. Top on the agenda, critical national issues as well as matters affecting the All Progressives Congress. Although the APC national chairman, Nentawe Wada, is also in Kebbi, he is not part of the meeting. We'll bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. All right, let's get a check now on sports. Olumide has the details.
Thank you, Laddie. Welcome to Sports News. We begin with football. Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, have rounded off their pre-World Cup preparations in style with a 3-2 victory over Paraguay in Casablanca, Morocco. The match was Coach Bankole Oluokere's girls' 12th warm-up game, extending their scoring tally to an impressive 50 goals while conceding just 6. With their Morocco training camp now concluded, the Flamingos moved to Rabat this morning to settle into their FIFA accommodation ahead of their 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, which kicks off on October the 17th. The girls will, however, open their campaign against Canada on Sunday, October. The World Cup games scheduled to be held in Boston. He also has previously suggested he could declare cities not safe for the 104-game football tournament and alter a detailed hosting plan that FIFA confirmed in 2022 because of routing and public safety.
Would we think about taking the World Cup away from Boston if they don't straighten it out? And the answer is yes, we have the right to do that with FIFA. So if we think that LA is going to be bad, or we think that applies a little bit to the Olympics too, but we'll talk about FIFA first. You know, FIFA is very hot. If we think there's any reason that, whether it's Boston or anywhere else, that they're not doing their job, we're going to take those World Cup games and move them someplace else.
President of the United States, Donald Trump. That's it on Sports News. Laddie will be back in just a moment.
Thanks, Olumide. And the main news again. The Senate today confirmed Professor Josh Amupito as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. And that's the news at 10 this Thursday night. Thank you for spending part of your evening with us. I'm Laddie Williams, community right here at Channels HQ. Good night.
Hello and welcome. This is Entertainment News on Channels Television. My name is Abidemi Dairo, and today on the program, Nigerian film My Father's Shadow named official selection to the Oscars, but to represent the UK. We will also go into Nollywood for the premiere of a directorial debut